So yesterday morning I woke up and thought to myself, I wonder if you can accelerate infinitely in Terraria. Oh, okay then. There's two main components to this glitch, the first of which is the unobtainable golden chest, which you can create by transmuting a marble chest. I say create because there's no way to place this chest down normally as it does not have a corresponding item. This is not to be confused with the obtainable golden chest you can get from pirate invasions. Mousing over these two chests makes the difference immediately apparent. The obtainable golden chest behaves as you'd expect. It has an inventory, and you can place and remove items from said inventory. Meanwhile, when you mouse over the unobtainable golden chest, your player will enter a glitch state. In this glitch state, all of your vanity will disappear, you lose the ability to move, jump, and use items, and you also become immune to contact damage. This means that bosses such as the Eye of Cthulhu with no projectiles can't damage you. However, bosses such as Empress of Light will still be able to harm you just fine, because they mostly use projectiles. There's one other strange side effect to being in this state. If you watch my speed, I begin to accelerate the instant I mouse over this chest. It turns out that this is a downwards acceleration because, while in this glitch state, the game does not realize that you are on the ground and accelerates you downwards until you hit terminal velocity. For a regular player falling, terminal velocity is 51 miles per hour. If you grab a portal gun, your terminal velocity becomes 179 miles per hour. However, it's fairly difficult to exceed that speed when moving downwards. But what if we could? That's where the second part of this glitch comes into play. The B-mount. The B-mount normally has two states. A grounded state, where you can walk around slowly, and a flying state, where you can maintain a limited flight before the B-mount grows tired and you'll hover down slowly towards the ground. Now then, if you mouse over the golden chest while in the flying state, your player will freeze, and your velocity will tick up slowly to about 20 miles per hour. However, if you mouse over the golden chest while grounded in the B-mount, your speed begins to increase alarmingly quickly, and in no time at all you will have passed 1,000 miles an hour. The rate of acceleration seems to be about 120 miles per hour per second, or about 53 meters per second in less painful units. Now then, the next logical thing is, does this work with jousting lances? And the answer is, kind of. The damage of a jousting lance increases as your speed goes up, and importantly, there's no hard cap to how much damage you can deal. You can accumulate pretty ridiculous damage using just the basic jousting lance and no armor or accessories. Therefore, switching to a maximum DPS loadout, buffing, and using a godly shadow jousting lance, the damage gets ridiculous very, very fast. This is fine. For all intents and purposes, 800,000 damage per second should be enough to kill anything you pointed at. But you might have noticed that around the 7,200 mile per hour mark, the lance disappears. And this is because even if you turn on auto fire and hold down left click, the lance projectile has a finite lifespan because you can't actually use items in this state. This means that even though you can theoretically accelerate infinitely, I don't yet know how to use lances when above 7,200 miles per hour. Which is why, even though I reached 5.4 million miles an hour in the thumbnail, I was not able to do several billion damage to one target dummy. But it's something I'm still hoping to find, and if anyone has any ideas, feel free to experiment. There's definitely still more to find with this glitch. Now then, what you're probably here for. How do I set this thing up for myself? Step 0 for setting up the glitch is that you need to be in multiplayer. However, using host and play for the PC version works just fine for this. If you're wanting to perform this on console, it's a bit trickier as you need to be on a dedicated server. And generally speaking, I haven't been able to test these glitches for myself on console versions, so your mileage may vary, but feel free to give it a shot. Everything you need to perform the glitch can be found in this chest here. As a few quick notes, you can use either a marble chest or a granite chest for the same result, and you can use pretty much any lance for this, although higher tier lances are generally better. If you plan to use this setup to kill bosses, I suggest that you build it near the top of your screen, so that when the lance is deployed, it's pointing straight up. This way, we can take advantage of the natural tendency of many bosses to hover above you when you're sitting still. The easiest way to achieve this is using some rope. About 25 pieces is good for most screen sizes, although this can vary. The next thing you'll need to do is take your wood or any other building block and set up a small platform for yourself. Next, we'll need to build the following upside-down U structure as a place to house our bass statue. Then, knock out 2 tiles from the floor for the trapdoor, place a piece of wood to the left, a piece of sand on top of that, and then a few more blocks of sand for the bass statue to rest upon. Your setup should now look something like this. Some speed is required for this next step, so make sure you have both the sandstone block and the sand block in your hotbar before proceeding. First, we need to block swap this piece of wood with a sand block, and then we need to place a sandstone block in the bottom left corner of the bass statue in rapid succession, like so. In effect, what we've just done is we've created a parallel universe, because what we see is different from what the server sees. The server still has a bass statue there, but that bass statue is invisible to us. If you want to learn more about how parallel universes were used to break Terraria, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the comprehensive guide to Transmutation. After cleaning up your platform a little bit, place a torch to the left, a switch to the right, and run wire between these 2 objects. Next, expand the platform all the way to the left once again, and now place your marble or granite chest in the middle once again. Now, when you activate the switch, you should notice that the top of your chest will turn into one of the glitch chests. And lastly, by introducing the honey goggles, we are able to achieve our unlimited speed. Lastly, a few tips for using this setup against bosses. Firstly, due to an intentional mechanic, if you take any damage while wielding a lance, the lance attack will be cancelled. This means that, while you are immune to contact damage, any hit by a projectile will cause your lance attack to get cancelled, forcing you to restart. A partial workaround to this is to build yourself into a small box, ensuring that you have enough of a gap at the top such that you can still use your lance attack, as lances cannot attack through walls. And secondly, the lance attack only lasts for 1 minute, meaning that every minute you'll need to reset in order to redeploy the lance. Therefore, you have 1 minute to accumulate speed and deal as much damage as possible. As demonstrated earlier, your DPS will peak around 70,000 without any gear and 700,000 with gear at the end of that 1 minute. These damage numbers are kind of ridiculous and are enough to instantly kill any enemy foolish enough to get in the way of the lance. Or to wander in front of it, I guess. And there you have it. You now know how to achieve infinite speed in Terraria. I invite you to experiment with this glitch for yourself to see if you could find better setups, ways to accumulate speed faster, or ways to attack while at higher speeds. If you like glitches like this, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an upload, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.